Hey guys, this is Anthony Morganti from anthonymorganti.com, and this is episode 128 of Photo Critiques. Now I'm sure most of you have heard that I'm not taking any new images for critique. If you haven't heard why, click on the link in the description of this video and you'll find out why I'm not taking any new images and the exciting new thing I'll be doing instead of critiques. I will be doing critiques for a while, though I have enough to keep me busy all this month and into next month. As I mentioned, this is episode 128, and in this episode I'm pleased to critique the work of Lee Davenport. And Lee told me that he just got a camera this past May, and he sent me a few of his favorite images. And this one here of a dragonfly, interesting shot. I think a lot of shots like this, you did a real nice job, though, I gotta say, on the focus. You could see all the detail in the dragonfly's wings, really nice, very nice job. The only thing is, it's such a busy background. It's a busy background. So there's not a lot. You did the best you could. You at 300 millimeters, f of 5.6, which would be wide open on the 70 to 300 millimeter lens at 300 millimeters. So it blurred it out best it could. Still, it's just a little too busy. So we have to either get in real tight. I don't know how close you could focus with this lens. If you got in real tight and had the almost the whole frame dragonfly, it would help minimize the busyness in the back. Or you would go to a different area where you could see that the background would be a nice backdrop for the scene, and you would wait till a dragonfly lands there. Typically, what I found is dragonflies, there's more than one. There's a bunch, usually near a pond and particularly, but wherever you'd see there's always a bunch, and you'll find that they tend to land, not just that one dragonfly, but all of them will always tend to land in the same spot. So you could look around, just spend a few minutes, and you could see where the dragonflies in general are landing a lot. Then you would look through your camera at that spot and see what the background looks like when you're looking through your camera at that spot. And if your camera has preview, you could preview too, and it will close down the aperture so you get an idea what the depth of field will look like and what the background looks like. So what you want to do is you want as best the complementary background as possible, not a distracting background. So you would then position yourself so that you have a good background and you could frame the shot where these dragonflies are often landing. And you probably won't have to wait very long, and a dragonfly will land there. And then you could snap the pictures off. You could even pre-focus on that spot, I bet, in that dragonfly. It seems they always want to land in the same spot on the same blade of grass for some reason. It's really unusual. Very, I'm sure somebody knows why, the biology of dragonflies, why they might do that. But that's what I found. So in this case, technically you did a real nice job with the focus, your choice of f-stop and shutter speed to freeze it. I would say, though, it's just the background is spoiling it. Also, your ISO of 5000, that's really high. Of course, you did that to get the fast shutter speed, but you could have brought the shutter speed down to 1/1000th of a second probably, and if the dragonfly lands here, you would have had a nice shot, and you would have been able to lower your ISO considerably. There's a panorama of Shanghai. This is a really nice shot. I really like it. 1/60th of a second f4, ISO 6400. Now you had to boost the ISO here because we had some boats moving and you didn't want the blur, I'm sure. So you wanted to use a faster shutter speed. That I certainly can understand. Now I don't know, it's got these really kind of weird rays on each end. And I don't know if that's from the panorama being stitched together. I don't know what is causing that, because I don't think those are the so-called God rays we talk about when the sun is peeking through the clouds, or rays of the sun are peeking through clouds, because there's no sun here. So I'm not sure what those rays are. Of course, if you printed this panorama, that would stick out. But overall, I like it a lot. You did a nice job. Just these rays here, I think, are spoiling it a little, and like I mentioned, I don't think that's your fault or anything you did. I think that's something in the processing of the panorama itself. It's a really nice shot. Excellent focus. Really nice. Used a direct flash, it says here, so very, very well done. A lot of these critiques, I tell people, use a flash. Don't be afraid to use a flash when you're outside. Fill flash for flowers like this, for portraits, just to add a little light to someone's face, put the catch lights in their eyes. It's really an effective technique, and it really makes this flower pop. The only thing too is the background again. It's a little tiny bit busy. I think if you were closer, let me see if I could try to show what I mean. If you were just a little closer, as you guys know, I can't crop and talk at the same time. I think that is kind of the more classic image. I think that's a stronger image, just being a little closer, and your focus is really well done. 1/250th of a second, f/4, ISO 250. I'm not sure how low of an ISO your camera could go, and since you were using flash, I would strongly suggest that if you do this again, bring your ISO as low as it goes if you're using the flash, because the flash will compensate. It's TTL metering. It'll put out more light to compensate for the lower ISO. So bring your ISO lower. Even though it's pretty noise free, it'll be even better if you bring your ISO as low as it'll go. This shot here is very cool. I mean, these are kind of tough to get, and you did very well on the focus. It might be just a tiny bit blurry. It's hard to tell. 1/6000th of a second, f/4, ISO 1250. Now, of course, we're using the super high ISO again, but that's mainly to get the fast shutter speed. Even at fast shutter speed, as you can see, a hummingbird's wings are a little blurry, so it's kind of, it's very interesting, I guess, to say how fast a hummingbird's wings beat. Now again, the background. We got this really kind of busy background with different elements in the background. This, hanging vase here, hanging pot with the flower, very blurry compared to him. So it makes the hummingbird stand out. But again, I just think it's just a little bit too far away. 85mm lens. I don't know how close, if you could have got closer and not scared the hummingbird away. But I think if it was just, see if I can make it. I don't know if I can make it vertical. Bear with me. As I mentioned, I can't crop and talk at the same time. I'm having a hard time cropping it, but maybe something more like that. Maybe that's not good. But I think if it was closer, I don't like that crop at all. Sorry. I'd like to try to get more of the flower. Typically, the classic shot of the hummingbird is the hummingbird just lighting upon a flower. So it's hovering and the flower's like right there. And the problem I see it with this shot is the flower itself. Let me get rid of these lines. Bear with me. The flower pot and flower itself are very blurry. It's way back. It's on a different plane than the hummingbird. So again, you got to kind of position yourself in an area where you could, set up the shot. And hummingbirds too, they'll go to the same spot. You'll see hummingbird after hummingbird. Sample a little nectar here, sample over here, sample over here. He might fly away, then another one comes in and does almost the same exact thing. So you could kind of look through the viewfinder of your camera, and if you have a preview button, use it so you could see what it will look like and see what the background looks like, and move around the scene and see where you could stand that will give you a nice backdrop that will enhance the picture. And that's it. Just really, you do very well, Lee. The backgrounds. I think you got to be more conscious of what's behind your subject, and I think you'll really bring your photography to another level. And that's it for Lee. Thank you very much for sharing your images with us. I really do appreciate it. And thank you everyone that watches all my videos. I really do appreciate that. And if you have time, go over to my website, anthonymorganti.com, and check out all the stuff I have over there. And if you can, subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'd really appreciate that. That's it for now. I'll talk to you guys soon.